Ni bona.
Sabona mfwetu.
Salamu alaikum.
Malaikum salam baba.
Kiswahili kidogo
Kidogo tutaongea.
Just like how to introduce yourself. I know a lot of people, a lot of supporters knows you, but I will introduce myself in Swahili. You also. Mimi naitwa Abdulaziz Alwatan kutoka Mpenje TV. Wewe unaitwa?
Mimi naitwa Senzo Mazingiza Mbata. Mimi ni mtendaji mkuu wa Young Africans. Karibuni hapa makao makuu wa Young Africans.
Asante sana. Senzo, being a professional manager at the University of Pretoria Football Club, being a manager of Platinum Stars Football Club, a CAF Symposium Delegate Director 2017, 2010 FIFA World Cup Organizers Committee Deputy Director. How all this defines you?
Look, I'm very fortunate to have been given an opportunity at a very young age to be involved in football. I think that when the opportunities came, I was there at the right time. So it has been a privilege for me to have worked with the greats, to have been given an opportunity to work with one of the stalwarts of football in my previous years. So it's been a journey which one has been excited about, and we continue to live our journey of football. Today we find ourselves in Tanzania. So as long as it's football, I'm happy that I'm part of football.
Let's talk also about the journey from South Africa to Tanzania, being a CEO of Simba, being a CEO of Yanga. Also, how did this define you?
Look, it is every administrator's ambition and a wish to have an opportunity to work at different places so that we acquire different experiences, we can learn about different cultures. That makes you a better person. You know, you cannot be better if you are only confined in one spaces. It's important for you to understand different environments. How do people live in different environments, different cultures? Yes, I agree, we are all in football. But football in Tanzania and football in South Africa are two different things. The only common thing is the 90 minutes, the rules of the game. That's very common. But in terms of culture, how to live with people, how to manage players in different territories, you know, the manner in which we manage players in Tanzania cannot be the same as the manner in which we manage players in South Africa. The culture of doing things, you know, there's so many things that one learns, you know, regardless of what experience you have and regardless of what you know, you'll forever be in a learning curve, especially when you go to these different environments. So coming to Tanzania has been a blessing for me. I've learned a lot. Yes, I've been to a number of countries. I have not stayed as long as I have here in Tanzania, but you know, as administrator and somebody in football, I'm telling you, it is always a pleasure to administer football at different levels and different territories. Yeah.
The father of the nation of India, Mahatma Gandhi, once said that you should be the change that you want to see in the world. Let's talk also about the contract of you with Simba Sports Club. When it expired, you didn't want to renew the contract. There was no a renewal of that contract, but we saw you signing in Young Africans. Tell us the situation there.
I had a 2-year contract with my former employers. The contract I didn't finish the contract. I was still left with 1 year in my contract. But it was best that we cut our ties, and I had moved on. So I had a good time at my previous employer. I enjoyed the successes that we had together. But that is it, you know, in football. What happens in a change room stays in a change room. So I'm not gonna lie to you and say anything bad. I had my good times, and that our times together had to end. So I found myself at Young Africans. I'm still having my good and challenges like any other organizations, but I'm here now and I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
What was the response of people? Was there any personal attacks?
You see, you must respect the big rivalry between these two teams in Tanzania. You know, if you leave the other club to another club, you will lose support, but you'll also gain support. So I can always say that I've lost a lot of support, but I've gained even more support when I came to Young Africans.
What is the difference between these two clubs?
The color.
And the other thing?
Look, the comparisons of these two teams, I always don't want to get involved in it or even say things, but all I can say is that both the fans and the lovers of these clubs love their club, you know, and I always would like to talk for the club that I work with, which is Young Africans, and say that it is a home. You feel like you're at home, you feel like you're part of the club. You know, the support that you feel when you go to all these outskirts of the country, people, the way they have love for their club, you know, it's something that is unexplainable. It's something that I will always cherish for the rest of my life, you know, and to have seen how people love their club. And this club has got a huge potential. You know, it's up to the leaders and those that have been given a responsibility to take this club to a higher level and ensure that they do justice to this brand called Young Africans.
Also about the issue of transformation, how should we call this transformation in Yanga? Is it an evolution of football or revolution of football?
I would say it's we are evolving more than revolution. We are evolving to a new way of doing things, you know. And I know that most of the people, especially our fans and members, are of the view that maybe this process is taking forever. That is always called a process. You know, the process that are involved to evolve from what we are, it's not going to be easy and it's not going to happen overnight. You know, if I may maybe outline the process. You know, we went to the AGM on the 27th of July, and then, June. We came back with a resolution that the club must go through transformation. And what is this transformation? Transformation means that we needed to change the constitution of the club. We needed to establish the new company, and we needed to have a newly formed a club going forward. So currently, where we are, the constitution has been lodged. Even the process of constitution, it's not like you bring the constitution, you change few things, then it's ready. It's not ready. You put the proposals to the members and committees. And there will be to and fro discussions, and those discussions are not going to be easy because what you're trying to change is the outlook of the club. So that takes its own process. From there, even when you submit this constitution to the BMT, and they also have their own requirements in this constitution. They will tell you, no, change this, you know, we're not happy with this. So that is why sometimes it looks like we are not moving. Actually, we are moving, and I'm happy with the progress, you know, and after this has been finalized, we will also finalize the registration of the trustees, for instance. We will finalize, after the registration is done, then we can go to the market and say, now, we want people to come and evaluate the value of Young Africans. So we will know how much value or how much is Young Africans worth, you know. Once you know how much your club is worth, then when you go and open this new company, you know exactly on what basis are you opening this a new company, how much worth this company is carrying from Young Africans. So it's a transparent process. It's a process. People must be patient, and we are moving. And the most important thing which has been talked about is the issue of fan engagement. Fan engagement is an ongoing process. We've had our own delays internally, you know, and we could not just go and start this program without finalizing our internal issues. You know, we've got 2 companies that we've already spoken to and agreed. It's a matter of us finalizing the necessary contracts so that we can announce to the player, to our members that now we've got Company X and Company X. We are going to register our members, or going to register our fans, and this is a process we are going to undertake. So as the chairman and all the stakeholders have been talking about cards and everything, now we're at the process whereby we're able to talk about these things. So all I'm saying is that people must be patient for us to be able to produce and bring a transparent transformation at Yanga, we need to take things taratibu. To rush things, sometimes we can get ourselves into unnecessary problems. But so far things are going well, and when before the end of the year we'll be able to make announcements to our members in terms of the progress that we've made in this process.
A good start, 2021-2022 NBC Premier League, 6 matches, 6 wins, 5 clean sheets, 9 goals, 15 points, top on the table. Why?
You remember last season that Young Africans had started this process of rechanging the outlook of the club, rebranding the club. You know, other than winning on the pitch, the outlook of the club is very important, rebranding of the club. So Young Africans is in a process of rebranding. And I know that we have a main sponsor who is SportsPesa, who are very appreciative of their support. Our sponsor, Azam, we really appreciate the hard work and the cooperation that we get from them. Afia Water, they've always been there for us. But without the involvement of GSM as a main, I call it a main guarantor. You know, anything in football nowadays requires money. So our association with GSM has assisted us to assist to rebuild the club. In what way? We are able now to attract proper players. We are able now to talk with people, and people have confidence in what we are doing. So the co-branding of these giant companies has helped us a lot to be able to build a much stronger team than we had in the past. We cannot ignore the fact that Young Africans had these own issues, you know, and when GSM came to the party, they didn't just fulfill the obligations of the contract, but they went an extra mile to ensure that the club attains the respect, the club is rebranded, and the club now can attract good players. So the market that we went to during the window period was a very good market. We brought in very good players into the club. Now that's why we are able to compete. You know, so the good start, it was not expected as quick as it is, because if you remember when we started, we had our own glaciers with our preseason when we went to Morocco. We came back, you know, the preliminary rounds of the Champions League also started. Our team was not 100% there, you know, we didn't make it through. So that created an impression that things might not go well in our way. But credit to the technical bench. We've reintroduced the Coach Kaze back to the team with Coach Nabi as a head coach. We've changed a few things in the technical bench, and then we can see that things are slowly coming together. You know, it was a matter of time that the team can gel and start understanding each other. You know, so it's not going to be easy. We've started well. That it means, all it means is that we need to be stronger. We need to be more alert than we were the previous season. So it's a good start. And I'm sure that the members and fans of this club are excited about this. So, but it's our responsibility as leaders to ensure that we continue to push for the greatness of this club.
As mtendaji mkuu wa Young African Sports Club, your work is to link the management and the technical bench. When you talk with Nabi, when you talk with players, when you talk about with technical bench and the management, how do they wish to win this NBC Premier League 2021-2022?
The club as well in the last 3-4 seasons, the Ubingwa has been eluding us. We've not been able to win anything. So as much as there's motivation coming from the leaders, the motivation coming from Viongozi, but the motivation also is from the players themselves. They want to win something. They are not here to be counted, but they are here to make sure that they achieve something with the club. You know, so when you talk to the technical bench and whoever is involved, you start understanding that everybody wants to achieve. Everybody wants to ensure that this season becomes a success. And also, I must mention to you that Young Africans is a very big club. And hawezekani inasajili mtu mmoja au watu wawili au watu watatu. This is a very, very big club. we've got a number of people that have got roles that they play in ensuring that the club is doing well. There are people that are taking care of a number of things. Even the players themselves. You'll see the way we manage our players. We've got individuals that will be dedicated to a certain function in the club to ensure that we help each other to manage the club. So I will never, and I have never, in my entire management history, taken the credit alone to say that because I'm a CEO, things are happening. No. It's a collective. It's a collective approach. We've got a very vibrant ExCom that is led by Dr. Msola. We've got a very vibrant stakeholders and committees. Different committees that are working with the club, technical committees, competitions committees, and there are also individuals in those committees. Those individuals are also doing a great job, So sometimes people will see Engineer Hersey and wonder what is his role. His role is to assist the club, and he's in the forefront in terms of that. So you will see Mr. Gumbo. You ask, what is Mr. Gumbo's involvement? What is Mr. Batenga's involvement? What is Rupia's involvement? What is this one? All these people have got one common ground. Rather common target. The target is to do well for young Africans. So it's a big club. It requires a number of people with a coordinated effort to ensure that we do well at the end of the season.
Let me take you back to the issue of fans engagement. You're saying that it is in the process of being a complete. It was a huge combination, a great combination with you when Simba, with Haji Manara, the spokesman, was the spokesman of Simba. Now you're working with him as a spokesman of Yanga. How do you feel again?
Haji Manara is a very special talent. Haji Manara understands what the fans need. He understands football also as an individual. So those elements make it a bit easier to work with him, because you don't have to always bring the ideas forward. Rather, he already has his own ideas on how to ensure that we engage the fans. One day I will tell a story of how we managed to get Hagi into the building, because the idea behind bringing Hagi into the building was a very, very good idea. The idea was really to ensure that the fans' engagement happens, and he is the right person to engage the fans. So as I'm saying, one day I will tell you the real story around how we brought him in and what was the thinking around that and who was behind the idea of bringing them.
Why not today, Senzo?
Let us achieve what we want to achieve, so that when we rejoice and celebrate, then we can tell people while we're in celebratory mood.
You told me hamwezi kusajili mtu mmoja. Let's also talk about the transfer window when it will be open. There is a lot of rumors here in social platforms, social media. Yanga will resign Chama, Clatous Chota Chama. Mtamsajili Chama?
If Chama is available and we have a space and we really need him into the club, and it's possible, who will bring him on board? Yanga has managed to bring a number of players, proper players on board, especially when they are available. So it's not only Chama. Any potential good player that is available in the market and we have got the means to bring him, we will bring him. But you see, the rumors which are making rounds is good for football, is good for people to speculate. But when the right time is there, the announcements will be made. One thing I like about young Africans nowadays is that we don't talk too much. We make sure that things happen, and then we bring players and coaches on board. So again, to emphasize, if Chama is available and we can bring him back to Tanzania, I'm definitely sure that the technical committee and the recruitment committee will bring him to Tanzania.
A sensational issue of Bernard Morrison. Yanga still need Bernard Morrison. How do you feel the case to be postponed by CAS?
The issue of Bernard Morrison is not about Bernard Morrison. The issue of Bernard Morrison is about the principles and upholding the rule of law in football. Young Africans is aggrieved that their player went to the other side without due proper process and protocol. As such, that is what we are fighting for. I don't think that people should think that the club needs Morrison back. No. The club is fighting for the justice, for the rule of law, especially when it comes to the transfer of players. People must respect their contracts and not do as they please because now they want to move on or they are aggrieved. That is why this case is ongoing. And you can ask yourself, why is it postponed so many times? We're also asking ourselves, for us it means that this is a very, very, very serious matter. Because if it was a small matter, it would have long been addressed. However, it's not in our hands. It's in the hands of CAS. We can only wait for their outcome.
Since you're in Tanzania for so long right now, how is Tanzanians? How can you define Tanzanians? How can you define Tanzania football lovers?
On the 18th of September, it was my full 2 years in Tanzania. All I can say is that this is a very passionate country. It's a country that loves its football. Somebody said to me, no, they love their clubs. Me, I keep on saying they love football and they love their clubs. It is a very calm and it is a country that allows for growth. And there's a lot of potential as well. There's so many things that can be achieved in this country when it comes to football. You know, in the few months that I've been here, I've seen the progress. I've seen how the league has improved. I've seen how the clubs themselves have improved. I've seen how the brands that are associated with the league have improved. So since I've been here, I've seen a lot of improvement, not only in the field of play, even in the city itself. The buildings that have been built, the flyovers, the bridges, I've seen it in front of my eyes, because when I came in, it was a dusty city because there was construction going on. So there's been a lot of improvement. Take it from me, you cannot take it for granted the success and the progress that the country has made overall, you know. And also, let's not forget that during the pandemic of COVID and all that, Tanzania decided to carry on with their lives. And that has had a major impact in our football. To an extent now, we are also attracting a lot of spectators elsewhere in the world, because it was only in Tanzania where the vibe was happening, when no one else was playing football. And that has really elevated our status. And as such, it is my wish that we continue on the upward trajectory for the football of this country and improve from where we are, you know. But these things don't take overnight; they take time.
Let's talk also about derby, Kariakoo derby here in Tanzania. We have also, in Africa, we just like have 5 or 10 bigger derbies. We have Cairo derby, Soweto derby, Casablanca, Raja Casablanca and Wydad Casablanca. We also have Kariakoo derby. How do you take this Kariakoo derby? How can you rate with this African 5 biggest derby?
For me, derby without fans is not derby. So, yes, I had my previous understanding and position regarding which is the best derby. But for the fact that in Tanzania we are still able to fill the stadium up with fans and have that derby feel, currently that's the only derby that for me is big now, because it got fans, it's got all the ingredients of making it a big derby, where everybody is going to the stadium to ensure that his team or her team wins the derby. So currently, I would not even want to entertain. I know we've watched Zamalek versus Al Ahly recently in the 5-3 match. It looked good, but without fans, it's not the same. You know, for me now, the number 1 derby in Africa is between my club, Young Africans, and
Don't you want to mention?
And the other rivalry club.
Since you have traveled with Simba in a lot of regions, Songea, Mwanza, Dar es Salaam, and other, so you have traveled with Yanga, different countries, different regions. How is atmosphere? How different it is between these two sides when we were there in the red and white color and here in yellow and green color?
The fact remains that these clubs are loved everywhere in the country. You know, wherever I've been, I've seen the support of these teams. But now I'm not talking because I'm at Yanga, but if I had to compare, we can see that there's more of the support that you see. I mean, from young Africans, we arrive at the airport, the reception is out of this world. Wherever you are, you can see that this club is actually seriously supported. That's why when I talk now on a professional level, talk about football, these two brands have got a serious responsibility to ensure that the football of this country is elevated because of the amount of support that they have throughout the country.
It's okay, Senzo. Lastly, let's talk about casual things here. Chakula gani unapenda kula, Senzo?
Nimekula chakula nyingi, nimekula wali, nimekula ugali. We have ugali also back in South Africa. Mimi sio mtu wanapenda samaki, but since I've been in Tanzania, mimi napenda samaki ya kuchoma. I also love the chips is okay, but chips sio nzuri, umepata utumbo with chips. Kitambi, so but I enjoy the mbuzi choma and the kuku choma, also samaki. I also enjoy the morning soup, some that is not normal back home where your breakfast is a soup. So some that is new for me, which I enjoy. Also maharage. I love the beans very much, so food has been good. I've never had an issue with the food. I also cook myself. Nimepika nzuri sana. Nimepika nzuri. I've always been a traveling man, so I've learned to cook at a very young age. So I can cook very well as well. So food for me, I don't have issues, I actually enjoy the food here in Tanzania. It's a very rich food, even the fruits. Everything is just okay on my side.
Unawapenda waandishi wa habari? Do you love these journalists?
Awezekana usiwapende waandishi wa habari. Hao watu wa very important kwa michezo ya Tanzania. Without people writing about our football, even the sponsors will never see a need to be involved with sport. The only thing that I have against some, not everybody, is that if we can do a little bit of research before we write, if we can, verify our stories before we write, and also sometimes think of the impact of the stories that you are writing. No one is asking to be done a favor and not to be written if I'm wrong or I must be attacked to say, Senzo, you're not doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you failed here and here, and then give me opportunity to explain why. But I don't support waandishi wa habari that are perpetrating negative stories all the time, perpetrating, attacking individuals and always looking for negative stories. There's nothing wrong to write a good story, and I really mean it by saying that let's try and investigate further. Let's try to find the facts before we go and mislead the public. So those are basic things that I'm crying for. But I want to say that without media, we cannot run our football, because our football depends on support from Wadhamini, from government, from everywhere. So people need to know about the news. They need to know what is happening in Tanzania. How will they know? It's through you, waandishi wa habari. So big up, keep up the good work. We'll continue to fight sometime, but it's part of the game. As long as we don't take personal and we don't go out our way to tarnish people's reputation. That is very, very, very bad. So other than that, I don't have a problem with any media house. I don't have a problem with anyone that wishes to find clarity for me or wants to ask me hard questions. That's why we are here.
Tumalizie, Senzo, kama usingekuwa mtu wa michezo, if you couldn't be a sportsman, who could you be? Ungekuwa nani kama usingekuwa mwana michezo?
It will be difficult because throughout my young days I've always been a sports person. If you don't know, I have not only played football, but I was a very aspiring rugby player. I was a very strong athlete. I did a lot of athletics in my youth. Maybe I would have been a rugby player, or maybe I would have been someone in athletics, but I think I will still be in sport. The passion I have for sport is beyond measure. If I may say that, one of the reasons that maybe you didn't ask, why would someone leave South Africa and come to Tanzania? I will tell you one thing. For me, it was an experience to go out there and learn something new. Come to an environment whereby you don't know anyone, you know nothing about the environment, but be able to live within that environment. In that way, you're able to learn and grasp new ideas and cultures that will make you a better person when you're going back home. So for me, I am very grateful for the opportunity to be in Tanzania. And so far, I've learned a lot. And I have learned what not to do as well. Not only what to do, but I've also learned what not to do. And I'm really appreciative of the opportunity. You know, the government and all the stakeholders involved in this football. So, yeah, if I was not in sports, I mean in football, I think I'll still be in sport.
Asante sana omuguligile again.
Asante sana namnyabonga kakhulu ngokunginika ithuba lokuthi ngikhulume neMpenja TV. I'm appreciative of the opportunity, and nami anginifisela konke okuhle neMpenja TV. I hope we can grow to be a big leader and a big competitor in the space of media. You know, that's how we grow as entrepreneurs. So I wish you everything of the best. Maybe one day you'll also be competing for the rights of the league.